So now Franklin's dead and Franklin's mom are on their way to court. Be sure to pray for Kid Franklin. Kid Franklin can possibly go to prison for a long time. So be sure to drop a massive thumbs up for Kid Franklin.
Baby, man, I still can't believe this happened to our son. On his 14th birthday of all days. Like, come on now. Today's supposed to be cake, candles, goofy dancing, and too much food. Not court, judges, and legal drama. Nah. That can't be our story today. But you know what? I'm not giving up. I know my son, and I know what happened. He wasn't out there acting wild for no reason. He was defending himself. And I'm telling you right now, baby, this lawyer better do what I'm paying him to do. You know how much I'm paying him? $10,000 for this job.
Wow.
10 bands just to show up and talk smart in a suit. In the last case, $60,000. 60.
Wow.
That man made a whole year's salary in one case. But I ain't even mad at it, because when the stakes high, cheap help becomes expensive mistakes. Remember when I had to pay $100,000 to that lawyer to make sure your situation got handled right? And that judge suddenly started seeing things differently? Yeah, exactly. Was it expensive? Absolutely. Was it worth it? Every penny. Because I'd rather cry in the bank app than cry outside a prison gate. That's just me being honest, baby. But it really got me thinking. What about people that can't afford this? What they do? They don't got 10,000. They don't got 60,000. They don't got no lawyer with a shiny tie and a briefcase full of words. They get swallowed by the system, baby. That's why prisons stay full. In America, prison ain't just punishment. It's business. More inmates, more money, more jobs, more contracts. That's why we gotta keep our son far away from that machine. So hear me, baby. We gotta stay sharp, we gotta stay calm, and we gotta move smart. No panicking, no breaking down. We stand on faith, and we stand on strategy. Our son is not getting lost in no system today. Hold on. Baby, look at that. There's a lady out there playing a flute, and that looked like a whole little wedding chapel. Wait, give me a second, baby. Let me see what's going on. This kind of interesting right here.
Wow, that's the wedding. She's playing a flute. Whoa. That's actually a wedding. Sounds nice, right? Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for gathering in this beautiful little chapel today. We are here to witness something truly rare, truly touching, and yes, a little bit surprising in the best way. It's not every day we see a distinguished 74-year-old gentleman
74.
standing beside a radiant 21-year-old bride.
She's 21.
Both smiling like they just won the lottery of love. But here they are, and here we are, celebrating a union that reminds us all that love doesn't carry a calculator. Some people count years. Love counts moments. Some people measure age. Love measures devotion. And over these past 4 years, this couple has built something meaningful, something steady, something joyful, something that has survived opinions, whispers, and raised eyebrows. And if raised eyebrows could stop true love, half of us in this room wouldn't be married. So today, we choose joy over judgment. Our groom, dashing, seasoned, and standing proud, has shown that life doesn't stop offering blessings just because your hair changes color. And our bride, graceful and full of light, has shown that a young heart can still choose with wisdom, loyalty, and courage. Together, they remind us that love can be unexpected and still be real. Different, yes. Beautiful. Absolutely. As you exchange your vows and rings today, may you remember the road that brought you here. Every laugh, every test, every late night conversation, every moment where you chose each other. May your home be filled with peace, your days with laughter, and your years with shared adventures. And may you always protect this bond with patience, kindness, and a little humor. Because every strong marriage needs prayer and at least one person willing to say, okay, you were right. To the bride and groom, congratulations on your wedding day. May your love continue to grow. May your story inspire. And may this next chapter be your happiest one yet. You may now celebrate this union with joy in your hearts. God bless you both.
Wow, so she's 21 and he's 74. Wow.
Woo! Now that is a special wedding right there, bro. I ain't gonna lie, baby. That just cheered my mood up a little. That old man standing up there like he just won MVP at age 74. Man, that gave hope to all the uncles, all the grandpas, all the I still got it brothers out there. Somebody in the nursing home just sat up straight and fixed his collar after seeing that. But did you notice something? I ain't really seen no parents on either side. Now for him, I get it. Brother 74, so maybe his parents already in heaven watching with VIP seats. But for the bride, I ain't see nobody close around her either. Huh. Maybe private ceremony, maybe family drama, maybe they all late. In this city, traffic can ruin a wedding and a haircut on the same day. But baby, I'm telling you, seeing that old man smiling like that did something to me. Made me think ahead. Like if me and you still rocking 40, 50 years from now, I might renew our vows too. Real talk. I'ma come in there with a velvet suit and a gold cane like some old school boss. And you? Oh, I already know. You gonna be looking expensive. Botox, fillers, facials, lasers, all that luxury maintenance stuff y'all be doing. Don't even act shy, baby. I know you. You gonna be like, I'm 70, but my forehead's still 28. And honestly, I support it. If it makes you feel good and keeps that glow glowing, I'm all for it. You already beautiful now, and I know you're gonna be beautiful then. We gonna age with style, not with surrender. That's our family motto. But for now, let's bring it back. Court, lawyer, our son. I'm still nervous, baby. I ain't gonna fake it. But after seeing that wedding scene, my spirit feels lighter. Like maybe God just gave us a little reminder on the road. Relax. I still got this. So yeah, I think things gonna go our way. Might be a long case, might be messy, but I believe we gonna win this. I believe that lawyer gonna do his job. Talk to me, baby. What you think?
Whew, baby. You know what? You right. That little wedding just now, it was random, it was crazy, and it was kinda sweet. I didn't expect to be on the way to court and get a whole love sermon on the side of the road. But I'm glad we saw it. It shifted the energy a little bit. And yes, baby, one thing about me, when I get older, I am looking into my Botox. I already know. I'm not waiting till the wrinkles start introducing themselves by name. Folks can say what they want to say. Oh, that's fake. That's not natural. That's this, that's that. Baby, please. Looking good takes effort. You don't wake up at 70 looking 35 by accident. That takes work, money, discipline, and a good specialist who know what they doing. Some people call it vanity. I call it maintenance. You service your car, right? Well, I'm servicing my face, period. And let me say this too, baby. Botox been around a long time. Fillers too. We've seen people overdo it, sure. But done right, it's fine. I done heard all the internet doctors and social media experts talking nonsense. But you know what I have heard way more of? People getting hurt from steroids. People damaging their hearts, their liver, their hormones, their whole future. That juice can take you to heaven early if you play with it wrong. That's why our son gotta be careful, real careful. But baby, on this court matter, I trust you, and I trust your judgment. When it comes to lawyers and serious business, you don't play cheap and you don't play foolish. You always go for the best. That's one thing I respect about you. You don't hesitate when it comes to protecting this family. You spend what needs to be spent. You make calls. You move mountains. And our son, he will feel that protection today. He not going down easy. Not with us standing behind him. Lord, as we get closer to this courthouse, I ask you to go before us. Calm our minds, steady our hearts, and put wisdom in our lawyer's mouth. Cover our son Franklin with favor and mercy. Let the judge see truth, not just paperwork. Let justice be fair, not emotional. Protect Mia as she heals. Protect our family from fear. And let this day end with peace and a testimony. We trust you, Father, even when things look scary. We trust your timing, your plan, and your hand over our lives. In Jesus' name, amen. Baby, we almost there. No more fear talk now. We walking in strong. We walking in covered. We walking in with favor. Let's go handle this. And then we bring our boy home.
That's what I needed right there, baby. That prayer hit me in the chest in a good way. All right, courthouse in front of us. Time to stop talking and start handling business. Lawyer better be ready, because today we fighting for our son. For real.
Mr. Franklin Sr., psst, psst. Come here for a second, brother. I gotta tell you something before you walk in there. What I'm about to say, whew, it might change everything. I don't know if you're ready for this information, sir, but I can't let you go in blind, you feel me?
Huh? What's going on, man? Why you whispering like we in a spy movie? You can tell me straight, what's the problem? What you mean is gonna change everything? Come on, brother, don't build suspense on me right now. My blood pressure already doing jumping jacks.
Phew, Mr. Franklin Sr. Whew. First thing first, let me calm down, because this one right here, this one got my spirit doing backflips. Now listen close. I know you ain't entered that courtroom yet, and thank God you didn't, because I needed to catch you first. The judge inside there? It is not that same female judge from last time. Nah,
What?
This one different. Whole different energy. This one a brother. Sister judge. But when I tell you she moved like a brother with no patience, Lord have mercy. I'm serious, sir. She got that look on her face like she eat arguments for breakfast. No smile, no good morning, no nothing. Just straight business. And before y'all even arrived, she was giving a little briefing in there. Just a short one. And let me tell you, she was cooking folks. She said, and I'm paraphrasing because I ain't trying to get struck by lightning for quoting wrong, but basically she said, if anybody come in there talking slick, hitting at bribes, talking about scratching backs, doing little wink wink rich people code talk, she gonna make sure they see the inside of a cell. Now check this out, sir. She said something wild, Mr. Franklin Sr. She was like, if anyone mentions scratching my back, I'll make sure the inmates scratch theirs. Sir, now I ain't gonna explain all that, because we grown men, and the courthouse got cameras. But you know what she meant. She meant do not play with her. This judge ain't just strict, she federal strict. She looked like she ironed her robe before every case. Sharp, cold, focused, no nonsense. And let me tell you what got me worried the most. Denise. Lord help us all if Denise start testifying without being called. If she do that, let me tell you something, Your Honor. Routine. Whew. This judge gonna hit that gavel so hard, the wall's gonna file a complaint. I'm just saying, brother, if anybody need to stay calm today, it's Denise. She got a powerful mouth and a Netflix spirit right now. That is a dangerous combination in a courtroom. Sir, I had to tell you this because I care about you, Mr. Franklin Sr. Real talk. You a good man. You look out for people. You HBO'd me out before. Help a brother out, remember? I don't forget kindness. And you carrying yourself like true black excellence, too. Classy, sharp, family man, rich but still respectful. So I couldn't just stand here and watch you walk in there smiling like it's church service. Nah, sir. You need to walk in there ready. That said, your lawyer? He looked ready. I seen him. He got that face on like he already argued with 10 judges this week and won 8 of them. Suit crisp, too. Briefcase heavy. That's a good sign. So don't panic too much. Just be smart. Don't joke about money. Don't joke about bribes. Don't say, scratch my back. Don't even say itch, if I'm being honest. And if Denise stand up, just gently sit her back down like she had a family cookout, trying to fight the auntie. So yeah, whew, that's all I had to tell you, sir. I wish you the best. I really do. I hope your boy comes out clean. I hope the judge has mercy and common sense. And I hope this whole thing ends today so y'all can breathe. All right, Mr. Franklin Sr., go in there strong. And remember, today ain't the day for extra talking. Today is the day for lawyer talking.
Whew. Okay, brother. I ain't even gonna lie. You just made me way more nervous than I was 2 minutes ago. On the way here, I saw a whole beautiful wedding at a little chapel, and it shifted my mood. Had me smiling, feeling blessed, feeling positive, talking about love and old folks renewing vows and all that. Then I pull up here, and you hit me with, the judge is a sister with prison energy. Sheesh. My mood just did a U-turn. And you saying it's a sister judge too? Man, sometimes it really do be our own people putting the most pressure on us. That part hurts. Because you hope they look at us with fairness, with understanding, with some grace. But some folks get in them positions and act like they gotta be extra hard on us just to prove a point. I'm praying this ain't one of those situations. I'm praying she sees the truth and not just the headlines. God, please be there for my son. Touch this courtroom. Touch this judge's heart and mind. Let her make the right decision, not based on ego, not based on anger, not based on hate, envy, pride, or trying to set an example. Let her judge with wisdom. Let her see my son is still a child and that he was caught in something bigger than him. Please, Lord, cover him today. Amen. And brother, thank you. For real. I appreciate you looking out. You could have minded your business and just sat over there cracking jokes, but you came and gave me the heads up. That means something. You a funny dude, but you got a good heart. And after this is over, remind me, I might have to HBO you out again for this courthouse intelligence report. All right, no more delay. Let me go inside and handle this. Lawyer talking, not me talking. No bribe jokes, no scratchback jokes. Don't even say itch. Got it. All right, brother, stay close. Pray for us. Let's go.
Court is now in
That's the
session.
judge. Holy moly.
Everybody settle down, and let's not waste this court's time today.
She looks serious.
I am Judge Althea Brooks, and I will be presiding over this matter involving Franklin Clinton Jr., also known in these documents as Kid Franklin, and the incident connected to Travis Kid 67 Trevelyan. Let me make one thing crystal clear before anybody starts performing for the gallery. This is a courtroom, not a live stream, not a music video, and not one of those dramatic parking lot arguments y'all seem to enjoy. If you came here to whisper, gossip, or put on a show, I can arrange for you to leave. Now I have reviewed the preliminary filings, the arrest notes, the statements from Inspector Howard, and the emergency incident report tied to the vehicle collision involving the minor known as Mia. This court understands there are multiple emotional layers here. A serious crash, an injured child, and a confrontation that happened afterward. But emotions do not replace facts, and sympathy does not replace legal procedure. We are here to determine what happened, what was justified, and what was not. So we will proceed properly. Counsel for Travis Trevelyan, known here as Kid 67, you will speak first. State your name for the record and then make your argument, and make it relevant. If you start dancing around the facts, I will stop you before your own shoes do.
Thank you, Your Honor. Preston Hale, for the minor Travis Trevelyan, known publicly by the nickname Kid 67. First, let me say that the defense acknowledges the emotional atmosphere in this room and extends concern for the injured girl, Mia. No one is dismissing the seriousness of the crash. However, concern for one incident cannot justify unlawful violence in another. Those are two separate legal questions, and they must remain separate if this court is to be fair. My client, Travis Trevelyan, was physically assaulted by Franklin Clinton Jr. in a hospital parking structure. The altercation ended with my client unconscious. Medical imaging, including CT evaluation, showed trauma consistent with a forceful blow to the head. Now, thankfully, my client survived, and he is standing here. But survival does not erase the act. If someone is punched hard enough to lose consciousness and require emergency scans, the law has to take that seriously, regardless of who threw the punch. As for the allegations tying my client to the collision involving Mia, Your Honor, the defense objects to any attempt to treat those allegations as settled fact without a full evidentiary hearing. We were told, verbally, that there is video evidence. We were told there is investigative material. Yet what was initially presented to this court was incomplete and not properly introduced through a formal evidentiary process at the time of charging. I am not saying the state has nothing. I am saying the defense has the right to challenge what they claim to have. Frame by frame, timestamp by timestamp, source by source. And let's be honest, Your Honor, we have all seen cases where a grainy clip, a bad angle, or a rushed police theory becomes the whole story before the facts are tested. My client is a minor. He is a public-facing teenager with a reputation, yes, but reputation is not proof. Nicknames are not proof. Social media rumors are not proof. People on the street said so is absolutely not proof. Now, with regard to the hospital incident, the prosecution may try to frame Franklin Clinton Jr. as acting in fear, acting in anger, acting in defense of his injured friend. But the law does not give a blanket license to strike first, strike hard, and strike until someone is down, simply because emotions are high. There were officers nearby. The hospital is a secure location. It is not the Wild West, and no child, no matter how muscular, no matter how upset, gets to play judge, jury, and left hook. The defense position is simple. If this court wants to evaluate the crash, do so through evidence. If this court wants to evaluate the assault, do so through evidence. But do not merge the two in a way that excuses one child's violence because another child was injured. We ask this court to recognize that my client was denied safety in that moment, was rendered unconscious, and is now being publicly painted as guilty before adjudication. Finally, Your Honor, Travis is choosing not to testify at this moment. That is his right, and I have advised him to exercise it. We ask the court to avoid prejudicial assumptions based on his silence. The Constitution protects that silence. Thank you.
Mr. Hale, I appreciate that you finally arrived at the part where you made a legal point. Let me correct the record before your phrasing starts floating around this room like perfume. There is evidentiary material in this matter, including surveillance review and investigative reconstruction, indicating that an object was placed in the roadway and that Mia's vehicle, while unlawfully driven by a minor, yes, encountered that hazard before the tire failure and subsequent collision. That is part of this court's record now, whether you like the timing of service or not. And let me say this clearly, so nobody confuses my tone with uncertainty. This court is not here to try Mia. That child being behind the wheel may be a separate issue for another day. But today, we are addressing the chain of events and the conduct that followed. The file I reviewed shows troubling similarities to prior patterns of staged roadway interference. So no, counsel, this court will not pretend these facts appeared out of thin air. Now, as for Franklin Clinton Jr., yes, I am disappointed. This young man has appeared in legal spaces before, and while he has avoided severe, long-term consequences in prior matters, that does not mean this courtroom is a revolving door where lessons go to die. I understand fear. I understand anger. I even understand seeing someone you care about nearly lose their life. But this court cannot endorse children deciding that knockout force is the proper way to resolve criminal suspicion. That said, I will hear the defense fully. Counsel for Franklin Clinton Jr., you may proceed. Convince me why this court should view what happened in that parking structure as lawful self-defense and not retaliatory violence.
Thank you, Your Honor. Counsel for Franklin Clinton Jr. Let me begin where the court began, with facts, not noise. This is not a case of a child roaming the city looking for trouble. This is a case of a 13-year-old boy, on the day before his birthday, no less, whose closest friend was lying in critical condition after a violent crash, and who then encountered a suspected participant in that crash in a hospital parking area. The emotional intensity was real, yes, but so was the threat perception. The defense does not argue that every punch is self-defense. We argue that context matters, timing matters, proximity matters, behavior matters. Travis Kid 67 Trevelyan did not approach my client in a neutral social setting. He approached him at a hospital where the victim of the crash was actively in surgery. He approached without counsel, without guardians, and, according to statements, in a manner that was evasive, panicked, and centered on avoiding police consequences. That is not the posture of a harmless child asking to share lunch money. Excuse me. Your Honor, you asked whether this was self-defense or retaliation. The answer lies in immediacy. Franklin Clinton Jr. did not hunt this boy down across town. He did not break into a home. He did not arm himself. He did not continue a prolonged assault once the threat was neutralized. By the reports, the confrontation escalated rapidly. There was physical contact, and Travis was rendered unconscious. That outcome is serious. We do not minimize it. But seriousness alone is not proof of criminal intent. Let's also address the elephant in the room. My client is physically advanced for his age. Everyone can see that. Frankly, from the back of this room, he looks like he pays property tax. But the law does not punish a minor more harshly, simply because he is stronger than the average child. If a stronger person perceives imminent threat, he is still entitled to defend himself. The question is reasonableness under the circumstances, not aesthetics, not body type, not whether the internet thinks he looks like a tiny linebacker. Excuse me. Once again, Your Honor. Now, on the issue of prior appearances in the system, as the court referenced, Your Honor is right to expect growth. But prior contact with legal systems does not make a child automatically guilty in a new incident. If anything, it should make us more careful, not less. Because children with visibility, with family drama, and with public reputations often become symbols before they are treated as kids. Franklin Clinton Jr. is still a minor. He is still developing judgment. And yes, he made a physical choice in a moment of crisis. The court can address that without branding him a criminal. We propose a response that is lawful, corrective, and proportionate. If the court believes Franklin should have de-escalated, then issue a stern judicial warning. Require counseling. Require supervised conflict management classes. Require community engagement. But do not treat this as though he ambushed an innocent bystander in cold blood. The evidence does not support that. The sequence does not support that. Common sense does not support that. And Your Honor, one more point. The same law that protects Travis's right to silence also protects Franklin's right to context. He was not acting in a vacuum. He was reacting in the shadow of an ICU door after a suspected targeted crash, while police themselves were still actively investigating the same individual. To ignore that context would be legal neatness at the cost of justice. So, respectfully, we ask this court to recognize the force used as excessive, in outcome perhaps, but not criminal in origin, and to resolve this matter in a way that teaches a child, rather than buries him in the system. Thank you, Your Honor.
Lord have mercy, counsel. That was a strong argument, but with a very strong accent. I think I might need a translator for you next time. Anyway, you've given this court something useful, a distinction between criminal intent and immature, emotionally charged force. I can work with distinctions. That is my job. I still do not like children putting hands on each other hard enough to require a CT scan. I don't care what nickname the other child has. But I hear your point on immediacy, and I hear your point on context. This court will weigh both. Now, before I hear from Franklin Sr., I will allow the family one statement. One. And if anybody starts a speech, we're done.
Your Honor, with all due respect, I just gotta say this real quick because my spirit is bubbling. This baby was defending himself and his friend. We got children getting hurt, cars crashing, folks sneaking around hospitals, and now the one kid who stood up gets treated like he robbed a bank? No ma'am, that ain't sitting right in my soul, and my soul got Wi-Fi with heaven.
Ma'am, save your soul's internet plan for church. This is a courtroom. You were not called. You were not sworn. And if you interrupt me again with a speech, a prophecy, or a podcast episode, I will have you removed before you finish your next sentence.
Wow.
Do you understand me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. Shut your mouth, fold your hands, and let the adults with law licenses speak. So, Mr. Franklin Sr., it's your turn. You've been patient, and I can see you're carrying this family on your shoulders today. Keep your statement focused. This is your opportunity to speak to your son's character, the circumstances, and what this court should do next.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor. First thing I want to say is, I respect this court. I respect order. I respect the law. I tell my son all the time, don't be taking the law into your own hands. Don't be trying to be no superhero in the streets. So I'm not here to act like what happened in that parking lot was perfect. It wasn't. My son hit that boy hard. We all know that. I ain't gonna stand here and lie just because I'm his daddy. But I need this court to understand what my son was carrying in his heart in that moment. That girl Mia, she may not be my daughter by blood, but she is family to my son. That child was in surgery. We didn't know if she was gonna live. Doctors were talking in circles, folks were praying, everybody crying, and then the same boy tied to that crash shows up around my son? Your Honor, that's not normal. That ain't random. That is pressure. That is fear. That is trauma walking up to a child in real time. Now, my son got flaws. Lord knows he got flaws. He hard-headed, emotional, and sometimes he act like he got a 40-year-old body and a 10-year-old decision maker. But he got a good heart. When people around him are in danger, he reacts. Sometimes too fast, yes. Sometimes too strong, yes. But he is not cruel. He is not a monster. He is not some little street villain trying to put people in the hospital. If anything, he needs guidance, structure, and maybe a little less confidence in his fists. I've spent money on lawyers, yes. A lot of money. And I'll tell you the truth, not because I think my son is above the law, but because I know what happens to young black boys when the system decides to stop seeing the child and only sees the mistake. I do not want that for him. I want him corrected, not collected. I want him taught, not trapped. So I'm asking this court, give my son a chance to grow from this. Put conditions on him. Make him do classes. Make me bring him back for check-ins. I'll do it. But please don't stamp this boy with something that follows him like a shadow before he even gets a chance to become the man he's trying to be. Today is his 14th birthday, Your Honor. Let this be the day he learns a lesson, not the day his life gets buried. Thank you.
Whew, Mr. Franklin Sr., that was the most useful thing said in this courtroom today. Corrected, not collected. I heard that. And your honesty helps your son more than excuses ever could. You did not come in here pretending he did nothing. You came in here acknowledging what he did and asking for proportion. This court respects that. Now, I am going to hear from Franklin Clinton Jr. directly. And before I do, Travis Trevelyan, known as Kid 6'7", you still decline to speak? Very well. That is your right. Franklin Clinton Jr., step forward. This is your moment. Speak clearly, speak honestly, and don't mistake tears for testimony. I need truth.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm Franklin Clinton Jr. I know people call me Kid Franklin and all that, but right now I'm just me. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared. I'm really scared. I never thought I'd be standing in court on my birthday like this, ma'am. I thought I was gonna be with my family, maybe eat cake, maybe act stupid with my friends, maybe make some jokes. Instead, I'm here trying not to cry in front of everybody. I wanna say sorry first. Not sorry for caring, but sorry for how hard I hit him. I was mad. I was hurt. I was confused. Mia was in the hospital because of that crash, and I really thought she was gonna die. I prayed and prayed and prayed. I was talking to God like, please don't take her. Then I see Kid 6'7" around the hospital, and my mind just snapped, ma'am. It felt like all the fear in my chest turned into anger in 1 second. But I didn't go looking for him to beat him up all day. I didn't make a plan. I didn't bring no weapon. I saw him and I reacted. Was it the best thing? No, ma'am. I know that now. I know I should have called for the police right away. I know I should have stepped back. But in that moment, I wasn't thinking like no judge or lawyer. I was thinking like a kid who thought his friend was about to go to heaven because of what this dude did. And I don't want to go to prison, ma'am. I really don't. I know I've been in trouble before, and I know my name be around drama, but I'm not trying to be no criminal. I got dreams. I got family. I got people who love me. I just turned 14 today. 14! I ain't even old enough to do half the things grown folks do. But I'm standing here like my whole life about to get decided in one morning. If you punish me, I understand. If you make me do classes, I'll do it. If you make me apologize, I'll apologize. If you make me stay away from trouble, I'll do my best. But please don't send me away like I'm some bad person with no future. I was trying to defend myself, and I was hurting because Mia got hurt. That's the truth. I swear to God that's the truth. And I just want a chance to do better. That's all.
Whew. Lord have mercy. I hope that is not corona. Anyway, Franklin Clinton Jr., this court has heard enough. I have heard from counsel, from your father, from your family's loudest unofficial spokesperson, yes ma'am, I mean you, and from you. I have also reviewed the reports, including the medical summary on Travis Trevelyan and the investigative materials tied to the Mia collision. This was not a simple case, and it was not a clean case. Here is what this court finds. Franklin Clinton Jr. used serious force. Force that caused injury. Force that could have gone worse than it did. This court does not celebrate that. And this court will not normalize children knocking each other unconscious in hospital parking structures. Let that be clear. But this court also finds that the context matters. The timing, the emotional state, the immediate circumstances, and the credible fear and distress tied to the ICU situation. That does not erase responsibility, but it absolutely affects judgment. Now, Franklin, when I speak next, I need you to listen with both ears and whatever good sense you got left. I am prepared to sentence you to 100 years of life.
What? 100 years in prison? Why?
Of life instruction, life discipline, and life accountability if you keep walking into this courtroom making the same mistakes. Let me correct that before your aunt faints. I am not sentencing you to life in prison today. This court's ruling is as follows. No prison sentence. No juvenile detention sentence at this time. Court-supervised probationary monitoring. Mandatory youth conflict de-escalation classes. Mandatory counseling sessions for trauma and anger regulation. No direct contact with Travis, Kid 6'7" Trevelyan outside attorney-supervised or court-approved settings. Community service hours to be assigned. And one written statement, not for social media, not for views, a real statement reflecting what you learned about fear, anger, and force. If you violate these conditions, if you show up in my courtroom again for violence, if you decide your fists are smarter than the law, then yes, next time we may be discussing consequences that take years of your life, not just a morning in this courtroom. Do not test me on that. Now, as for the broader matter involving Mia's crash and Travis Trevelyan's alleged role, that process continues separately, and this court expects full cooperation from all parties and law enforcement. No more street justice. No more parking lot revenge. No more "I was emotional" as an excuse after the fact. Franklin Clinton Jr., today is your birthday. Happy birthday. I am not giving you freedom as a gift. I am giving you responsibility as a warning. That is worth more, if you are smart enough to understand it. Make better choices. You are clearly loved. Don't waste that. Case adjourned.